Hi, welcome back. Paul Nashawaty here, coming to you live from the show floor at KubeCon North America 2025. I'm here with Percona. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Yeah, great event, great show.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Busy.
Busy.
Right.
So, what I understand is you provide enterprise level support for Postgres. So, and what we see in our research is 68% of organizations want to work with open source projects and vendors that sponsor open source projects, but also offer that enterprise level support because they don't want to go at it. They want to make sure that they have some safety to fall back on. And community support's good, but enterprise level support's better, right? And that's really where it comes down to. Are you seeing some of this as well?
Yeah, definitely. So we do offer like SLAs and things like that to our customers. Even though we're open source, we support the open source software. All of our software, we don't charge for licensing or anything for any of our software.
Right.
But the enterprise class support is there and available from us. And the key is that we don't have vendor lock-in. Right. So if you go to one of the vendors that offer support for some of the vendors that have open source databases that are kind of under their umbrella, you're kind of stuck with them. And you're stuck with that. If you're buying licensing and you're buying support from them, you're locked into that one vendor. With us, we're basically technology agnostic and we don't have vendor lock-in for anything. So even if you're using Percona's software, which is open source, you can get support for Percona software from somewhere else if you want to.
Right.
So that really keeps us having to be sharp and having the best-in-class support because it is easy.
No, that's great. When I think about the event here, what's happening, it's obviously it's Kubernetes strong. It's a big event for Kubernetes, big event for cloud native and cloud native. But also the big theme is AI, right? Not to AI wash everything, but basically AI is an enabler for success, right? And when we look at Postgres and we look at what's happening in that space, what are some of the new kind of AI functionalities? What are people asking for?
I think first and foremost, and that is true across all the databases, not only Postgres, is to provide good vector search capabilities in the first place. So actually Postgres can serve as a source of the data, or other databases, a source of the data for AI models and applications. So I think that's something that is currently seen as really the most important part, especially that Postgres tries to be this like a single stop shop for multiple workloads, so we don't have to have and maintain multiple databases, which then this is kind of additional use case which is very important right now. But it's still fairly in the early stages, I would say. So many organizations are experimenting with that, but there are not that many like production grade use cases in practice. At least that's what we see in the field.
Yeah. I noticed. I've been walking around the show floor all day, right? I've noticed your booth has really been busy. Lots of traffic to your booth. And Blair, you were talking with a lot of clients, customers, and prospects about what's happening. What are the top questions that people are asking?
I think there are many organizations that are right now at this stage where they look at modernizing their data infrastructure, and one of the directions they consider or actually chosen strategically is to move them to like cloud native infrastructure, so basically to Kubernetes. So basically they're coming and asking like how we can make this happen, or maybe they have some ideas, but even what they're more interested in is like what are the experiences of other organizations that maybe already done this, and what are the biggest challenges and traps that they actually found along the way. And that's not always about like little technical issues, because those are probably easier to solve, but I would say more about how the whole organization adapts to, let's say, different way of working with databases, to database operations, solving issues, moving responsibilities between the teams, separating them differently than up to that front. So we like this type of questions because we have quite a bit of experience with large organizations that already did that move. So that's just in a good position to advise others who are like at the beginning of that journey.
So what are the top 3 things you want your prospects and customers and your audience here to understand as takeaways from the show?
This. Well, I think first and the most important thing is like that you don't have to be stuck with like proprietary licensing for your databases, even if you're operating in a highly regulated and demanding environment in general, because most of the things these days can be achieved with a really truly open source solution, right? So I want people to migrate from legacy proprietary databases to open source, but then realizing that they need to buy a license and they're not open source anymore. So that is one thing. I think for this audience, another thing that is important is that running your databases and data workloads, stateful workloads on Kubernetes is not like a new thing anymore. So I think it's already past this early stage where people were finding many like rough edges and trying to solve some issues that maybe were found for the first time. But actually, there are already organizations that went through that. So most of these things were resolved, and of course, it's a continuous process. But in general, you can expect fairly smooth experience if you prepare to that well. And third, no, maybe you would like people to actually know that now transparent data encryption is available in Postgres because we really see huge interest in that solution, and the adoption is very, very big.
Very good. Blair, anything to add?
I think this is really kind of boring, but I've been in this industry a long time, 30 years. We had our customer advisory board, and I go around, I talk to large enterprise customers and things like that. And the fundamental thing that people are still asking for is reliability. So what they really want is their databases to be available and performant, and scalable, and that's the key. They want to forget they exist.
Yeah.
If they're getting issues with their databases, that's puts a lot of visibility on the DBAs and things like that. So they come to us and they ask for reliability, and they come to us and ask for the level of support that we provide. So they need to be able to, if they do have a problem, come to us and have us solve it as fast as possible.
Yeah, it
That's
sounds
still what people are looking for. It's been that way my whole career, basically.
absolutely. It sounds like what's old is new.
Yeah.
Right. That's very what it is. Well, thank you both for answering these questions. I think there's a lot of information here to share. Thank you for tuning into our session today.